Episode 8, The Magicks of Megas 2. You know that science fiction, it's not science fact. They're not literally scientific fact. There's some fiction in there. So you have to do some suspension of disbelief. This episode, however, the way it starts out, it's such a scientific nightmare. Like the first 2 lines in the episode is like, it starts out with the theory is that the universe was created from an explosion, therefore in the middle of the galaxy matter should still be created from nothing. You're like, oh my god. And they go there, oh, but there's a matter energy whirlwind, we have to go into the center of the storm. Okay. And in the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, or the matter energy whirlwind, in the middle of where matter is created from nothing, in the center of the galaxy, they're being transported to a planet that looks like a watermelon by Lucifer. Like the first 2 minutes of the episode, and like you're just like, oh my god, oh, it's so terrible. Oh, the first 2 minutes of the episode, they're so terrible. Like if you know anything about astronomy, you're like, oh god, everything is so wrong, so terrible, so goddamn wrong. But if you make it past that, actually it's a good it's a good Star Trek episode after that. If you can make it that far, if you survive the first 2 minutes, which are a scientific nightmare. It's like science fiction trying to torture you with how anti-science it can be in the first 2 minutes. Oh, it's so terrible. But if you survive that, it's actually when you make it past that, it's a classic Star Trek episode about not judging people by their appearances, and classic Star Trek aliens visiting Earth early on and trying to portray the evolution of mankind, going beyond war, going beyond hate, going beyond evil and all that. It's a good Star Trek episode after the first 2 minutes that are giving you nightmares. It's just such a contrast. Like you have to survive the first 2 minutes, which is just horrifying science, just so you can meet Lucifer on a planet that looks like a watermelon. Okay, you're like, okay, we met Lucifer on a planet that looks like a watermelon because we went to the center of a storm, because in the center of the galaxy matter is being created because the universe was created from an explosion, and that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just completely stupid. Okay, we need to make it past that. Yeah, but then it's classic Star Trek. Not like the guy is called Lucifer, he's the devil, he's evil and whatever. Then it turns into classic Star Trek that just because this guy is called Lucifer and he was considered a wizard and witch and evil person in our planet's distant past, we shouldn't judge him now because now we know much better. That's classic Star Trek. That's like Star Trek looking in the distant past, saying, back then, yeah, we had lots of superstitions and judged things badly, and nowadays we have a better understanding. that's classic Star Trek. I just wish this episode had a better understanding of science, because obviously the Big Bang wasn't in the center of our galaxy. There was no hurricane in the galaxy with the center of the storm, and there was no matter being created from nothing. It's horrible. Even in the 60s, they should have known that. I mean, I'm not that up to date on the history of theoretical astronomy, but even in the 60s, they should have known that. It's just, as an average person nowadays reading space.com, that's just horrifying to watch. Like, no, matter is not being created from nothing in the center of our galaxy. The Big Bang didn't happen in the center of our galaxy. There are no hurricanes in galaxies with eyes of the storm. That's just horrifying. I mean, maybe if my parents were Star Trek fans, and back in the day if they were astronomy fans, maybe they could tell me if back then people didn't know any better, but it's just horrifying to watch. No, the Big Bang didn't happen in the center of a galaxy, and matter isn't being created by from nothing. That's just torture. That's just scientific torture. But like I said, the story as it develops from there, it's a classic Star Trek story. It's so hard to get past that. That beginning. I don't even remember if I have spoilers in the title of these animated series videos. Yes. God, that's torture. No, that's not. That's not how it's happening. That's totally not how it's happening. No, awful. That gives me weird feelings in the stomach. No, that's completely not how it's happening. The story is cool, but the science is gives you nightmares. Seriously gives you nightmares. That's god awful, terrible science. Terrible.